I don't want this to cover the screen. So let me know if you can hear me. But this is covering the screen. Why? I don't want to end that poll. There's a question and answer. Hello, Aden. Go now one. Please confirm that you can hear me. Welcome to this live. Jason, JP, Aden. Thank you for subscribing. Hello, Rita. I am JP. Yes, I observed that sometimes the... Thank you, Rita. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Sometimes the video seems to be changing now. Yes, you can see the way I'm adjusting my screen. So I think there are some changes that YouTube has made to settings. I observed that on my own live and some other person's live. Okay, Kata. Okay, welcome, Kata. Thank you for joining in. Thank you. Where are you watching from? Okay, so I think the question and answer should stay. It's not staying yet. Kata, welcome. I want to welcome everyone who is joining in. So we'll be looking at relationships. What ways relationships are affecting people's health? In what ways? Okay, I think it's just fine here. I can adjust my screen. I hope this is good. I don't know why the screen is like this now. We have reduced the size of this question. So thank you for joining in. So she starts. Okay. I think this is better. Let me know if this is better. Everyone joining in: Aden, Gon Awan, Jason, JP. Where are you joining from? Thank you for joining in. Okay, so Alpoyanga says, why do you look just absolutely blasted? Yes, I was explaining that it seems there's a setting on YouTube currently that makes appearance zoom out like this. Okay, so I try to zoom in, but it seems this is the best we can get for now. Just let me know if you are comfortable with the video and the audio. Do let me know if you are comfortable with the video. Thank you for joining in. Okay. Puyanga, I don't know who you are talking about, yeah? Okay, I think I missed some of the messages in the chat. Okay, Kata, welcome, Kata. By the way, I like to know where you are joining from. Thank you for joining in. Poyanga, your messages are interesting. Rita Button, my phone, okay. Anger, don't be angry, Apoyanga. Do you treat diabetes? Okay, I'm a family physician by God's grace, and of course, diabetes is a chronic medical disease that involves some management at different levels and different approaches. So a diagnosis is made by your doctor, and then appropriate management is given. So when you say, do you treat diabetes? So I have patients that actually have that condition and manage them appropriately. JP. Okay, Kata, welcome. And Poyanga. So it's an interesting topic we are looking at this time. I appreciate everyone joining in, and I'd like to know where you are joining from. And we are talking about relationships and how our relationships affect our health. Okay, JP, this is becoming like a consultation. You can find my mail and we can have a private consultation if you're asking questions about transition to insulin from, we're talking about hemoglobin A1C, that's glycosylated hemoglobin that checks the control over a period of at least 3 months. So that's one of the tests that your doctor requests for. And so if you're talking about transitioning to insulin, there are different considerations, indications for commencement of insulin. So it is something that we have to individualize, and based on your history, doctor will be able to say this is time to transition. Okay. Thank you, JP from the United States of America. Kata says my phone. Okay, what about your phone, Kata? Thank you for the likes. Remember, if you are here to double tap on your screen, when you do that, that helps the algorithm to notify more people to join this live. So JP, I'm live in Nigeria. I'm live in Nigeria. So I'm glad that I'm connecting with you. Thank you for your engaging on in the chat. Thank you for your engagement. So there's one side that we are really looking at today on this live. If you are just joining in, welcome. Remember to click on the like button, and you can subscribe to the channel. And that's one way the algorithm will help people to know more about this. So in what ways are relationships affecting people's health? And according to the World Health Organization, health is defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. All right, so it's a complete definition. Of course, it puts in the spiritual. Now in family medicine, we look at these different areas of health as a complete definition of the health of an individual. Okay, so the physical, the mental, and social. So we are looking at how your social life, your social health affects your overall health. So couples are no longer having fun, and why? Why are relationships having challenges, and why? Of course, challenges exist in different relationships. Okay, so we are looking at relationships that are like engaging in terms of marital. And now, if you see the implication of just even relating with an individual, of the effect on you, so how much more in long-term relationships? Okay, so why are people having these challenges? These are things we are looking at, and what is the way forward? What are the things to be done? What should we be doing? How do you see that spiritual oppression affects people's health? Okay, you have a question. You've been asking questions, and I've been trying to respond to your questions. Is that okay, JP? How do you see that? How do you see that spiritual oppression affects people's health? How do you see? Okay, that question, I'm trying to get it clearly. How do you see? I'm trying to get it clearly. Can you break it down? Can you reframe that question? Please do. Welcome to this live. If you're just joining in, remember to double tap on your screen. It promises to be fun. Kata, I'm expecting a reframing of your question. All right, so as we go on, okay, thank you, Kata. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Okay, JP says from reading the Bible, I believe a lot of people's spiritual health is directly related to their physical health. Yes, there's a great connection. These different aspects of our lives or health are interconnected, and we must see it as that. We cannot deny the spiritual. We cannot also deny the aspect of the soul, where there's cognition, where we talk about our emotions, our will, the ability to process information, relate with life, all right, where we can be productive in our minds, and then where all that also influence the way we appear. Okay, if someone is depressed, for example, they may not be appearing well kept because they are not interested in some things anymore. They don't want to go out, they don't want to relate with people and all. So this, even diets can be affected. Individual may lose appetite for food and even for intimacy, couple. So there are different aspects of our lives, and we cannot deny the fact that one aspect affects the other. Okay, sometimes people tend to try to ignore, they try to cover up or make up in different ways. Okay, but there's usually something missing. The same way, if anyone decides to say, "Oh, God does not exist. There's nothing like God," that's that individual's thinking and then a position. Okay, but the reality is that you didn't come here by yourself. You didn't appear here. So you have to think about it, that how did it come about that you are thinking that there is no God. Okay, but that's your position. But the reality is that there's something the Bible talks about, what a person that says there's no God is. Okay, so well, from reading the Bible, you say, I believe a lot of people's spiritual health is directly related to their physical health. Okay, so if that uh, is what you are saying, I believe a lot of people's spiritual health is directly related to their physical health. You are right. Okay, you are saying they are lost. Yes, people that don't believe there is God, such individuals are lost. Can't say you don't believe there is God. Okay, but when you say lost, they can also be found actually. Okay, so there's always a time. Someone that says there's no God at this time can eventually find out that there is really, truly God, and then God exists and God reveals himself to such an individual. All right, so if we do not take our spiritual health serious, we do not take our mental health serious, we do not take our physical health seriously, our social health, then we are not living the fullness of the life that God wants us to live. So we must take responsibility. We must be committed to our own health. Okay, we do not need to wait till you don't need to wait till you having a symptom, maybe a headache and body pains, before you make some adjustments. Whether in terms of, most times we say, oh, your sleep is very important, your diet is very important, because these things may affect not just your physical health, may also affect your mental health. All right, so but how much do we emphasize or see the need to get things right in our relationships and to do the things that will make us live that healthy life in that aspect of our lives? So people are no longer having fun, they are not excited, a lot of tension and all. We should not be. Okay, so some physical illnesses, some mental illnesses actually connected to people's relationships. Okay, that's social health. So if an individual's social health is not the way it should be, then it can lead to some disturbing mental health issues and then even physical uh, health conditions. All right. So that's why sometimes they say, oh, stress can trigger or lead to hypertension, elevated blood pressure. Okay. So any form of stress, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, mental, this can trigger some other conditions. All right. And if you have any contribution, you can just drop in the chat. Because one of the things that we need to look at when it comes to life is communication. Okay, sometimes people tend to bottle things, keep things in their mind, and begins to generate reactions within, and then over time become expressive and in very negative patterns. So to avoid this kind of life, we need to learn to communicate, and communication will go a long way. Yes, a number of people actually bottle things up, keep things in their mind, and then they end up exploding at a time. And people will be wondering what happened to this person. Okay, so that's why we need to be engaging, expressive, and find ways to strengthen our relationships. Thank you for joining in. Let me know where you're joining from. If you are just joining, let me know where you are joining from. There's something here. Maybe we look at this some other time. All right. So the first thing is communication. All right. So we must learn. Nobody knows what you are thinking until you tell them. Okay. Even though sometimes there are expressions on the face, expressions in different ways that can show that this person is having this kind of experience. Same way you can see, okay, look at a person that is looking sad, happy, or excited. Someone can even look, you can see that depression on them. So it's important to note that there are things that happen on the inside that we need to be talking about. So the fact that people don't talk about it, eventually these things may talk about people, may talk about them. All right. So if you're not talking about something, or you're not looking for ways to improve on your relationships, for example, if you are not committed, definitely so many things can happen, okay, including the effect on your health. All right. So we need to be taking responsibility and understand that relationships are important, yes, but you should know that you are not in relationship to be quiet. You are not there to just be watching. You are meant to be active in your relationship. You should be talking. You should be engaging. You should be expressing yourself. So it is that lack, that gap sometimes, because one person does not know what the other is thinking or what the other is trying to say, unless they hear them talk, or they hear them see. Okay, so I want to say welcome, Nila. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, thank you. I cite you, Nila. Nila says, hi, how are you? I put like done. Thank you for the like. I believe my audio is very good. I hope you can hear me well. I chose not to use any external mic at this time. I'm using my phone mic. So let me know if it's okay for you. Nila, thank you. I'm doing well. trying to communicate to the community and different people joining in the audience from different parts of the world. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the like. May I know where you are joining from, Nila? And what are your thoughts about how relationships are affecting people's health? We are still talking about communication. Sometimes people are even hearing something different from what you might be saying. Okay, so you need to sometimes try to help people to understand what you are saying, but you can only try and also learn to listen. It's important to learn to listen. For example, to your spouse, if you are married, a couple, you need to learn to listen. Listening is a key aspect of communication. And of course, I've talked about the importance of talking and learning to talk at the right time, talk in the right way. These are very important. Okay, not talking, that does not mean that there are no matters to handle. Okay, and sometimes people tend to push things that should be talked about and dealt with at a time. You begin to push it forward to some other times. Okay, so you should learn to listen to others in your relationships. Very important. All right. So some people feel cheated. They feel isolated because uh, they are not being heard. The other person is not listening. Is not actually listening. Say, I can hear you, but are they really listening? Okay, are they really processing the information? So when you are talking about listening to someone, you need to really settle and then process the information, receive the information and process it appropriately. Think about it in the light of the other person's position, not just trying to put up a defense on your side. So these are things that affect people's health. People are no longer having fun. They are not excited because they are not getting the expectation that the things that they have as expectations from the other person. All right. So this could be distracting. Yes, I need to mention that. So those are the ways that relationships affect people's health. It could be distracting. It could affect individuals' productivity. Normally, what God expects is that you are excited about life. You are um, fulfilling your roles, fulfilling your goals, and if there's anything at all that is limiting that productivity, even your relationship, then you need to learn to deal with it. Whatever it is that doesn't give you excitement, that doesn't make you happy, then you need to be dealing with it because the target is not just the relationship. The target is your health, and you must take responsibility for your own health. You must. It's a must. No one else will. Okay. Of course, people will show care and they will say they understand, but you have to take personal responsibility because when symptoms come, I mean, individuals that have experiences, challenges, will be able to say what they feel, but not anyone around them can really can actually feel what they are feeling. All right, so it's important, and so that's why we need to be considerate. We need to have feelings. It's because sometimes that feeling, that sense of selflessness, that commitment to another is missing. That's why sometimes people do things without consideration for other people's or the other person's feelings or emotions. Okay, so we have a backup. Okay, let me do some extra lighting. Yeah, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, I hope the lighting is better. Hope the lighting is better now. Thank you for joining in. Okay, it's better this way. Welcome. Thank you for joining in. Let me know where you are joining from. Thank you for the sixth like. Okay, Kata is back. Thank you, Kata. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's a great opportunity to be connected with the community once again. And we're definitely having new people joining in from different parts of the world. Thank you for the sixth like. So I'd like to take your comments on this topic. What are your thoughts? So as a professional, I understand this aspect well when it comes to health matters, and as an individual personally I have to take responsibility for my own health. Kata, thank you. let me know what you have relating to this topic. Life is meant to be enjoyed and not to be endured. So there's fun. There's supposed to find pleasure in the things that we do. So I believe strongly that if people look at this side and take it seriously, that there, you as an individual, myself as an individual, my actions, my words actually go a long way to affect the health of someone out there. So that's why we must be careful what we say, what we do, how we do. Okay, I did a video on self care, selflessness, or selfishness. All right. How do you strike a balance? Of course, God does not expect you to live as a selfish person or selfish individual. Okay, but there are signs, of course, there are things that you can see that can tell you that, oh, this person is selfish. Okay, if you are looking at only your own interest and not considering the interest of others, if you are looking at how things will be fine for you, even at the expense of another, I mean, in a negative form, then that is selfishness. Okay. But when you talk about being selfless, that's doing things, sometimes even going the extra mile to make others happy, helping others, assisting others. This is actually a healthy way to live and to relate. All right. But interestingly, you find out that some people are actually committed to giving, giving, and giving, but they have challenge with receiving. Okay. And when it comes to a point where an individual feels they need to receive and they are not receiving, at that time, they begin to have some conflicting issues in their mind, begin to wonder, uh, does this person really love me? Do these people, are they really concerned? And, those are some of the things that will be going on, and these are some of the things that bring about conflicts and even health related issues in the life of individuals. Okay, but these things can be dealt with appropriately. So there is a need for you as an individual to self care. You need to care for yourself. You need to be committed to yourself. Thank God for people who love to give, who love to care for others. Very good. But how well you take care of yourself will actually determine or influence how much of giving that you can do. And if you love yourself, you will surely show that love to others. All right. So, but if you are not showing care for yourself, you are not doing the needful for yourself, and you keep giving to others, you will find some things missing. All right. So you have to take responsibility for your mental health. You need to learn to relax, not just sleep, take naps, relax, music. You need to learn to relax, take a break. Very important. Now people keep giving, people keep doing things without receiving. That's why it becomes a challenge for them to continue at some point. All right. So it's important to look at these areas of our lives. Very important. Thank you for joining in. Welcome to this live. So people, this of course this is adult talk, and especially for couples. Why is fun missing? Why is the fun missing? When I talk about fun, that's beyond intimacy. It's about the connection, the emotional connection, the sense of responsibility and accountability to each other. Very important, very important. Okay, so what is missing at this time? So sometimes the communication may need to go around observations. What are the things that you have observed about that person? Not communicating in a negative manner, but expecting that it's just an expression of your observation. And then the other person is expected not to create a defense. Most of the time, people tend to want to defend their position. But when there are facts, the facts are there, and then you look at the response from the other, then you will know, oh, what is the real situation here? And when that happens, when that communication is being done, and if it is done well, where there is a practical understanding of where you are coming from and where you are now, you need to be able to address those factors and then make necessary adjustments. All right. So, for example, I was talking about fun. If talking was important to you before you got married or into a relationship, and the talk is no longer there, you're no longer wanting or desiring to communicate to, then something is missing. And this, many people don't understand that this, whether you do it to yourself or do it to another, is affecting your health and sometimes affects the other person's health. Okay, so we must be sure, is it that we people don't understand the reason why they are where they are, understanding that I'm in this relationship not to be quiet or not to be inactive, not to do my own things when I want to do it. Okay, but that commitment to knowing that you have your part to play, the other person has their part to play, their role to play. And with that, there can be a strength that will be helpful for the couple and then make them more productive, make you as an individual to be more productive than you are currently. So that's one of the reasons why people are losing that touch, because communication is a challenge. There's gap. There's no communication, or communication is not done at the right time and in the right way, and this can create a lot of gaps and tension. So sometimes people with certain symptoms do not just have those symptoms coming from nowhere. Okay, sometimes it could be that social factor that is causing this. Okay, so there is a tendency, some people eventually may try to find a way around the challenge of communication. For example, being to get something else to attract them. They may get involved more in social media, get themselves more in doing what they love to do, get themselves more into eating a lot. And then when the individual overeats, there's a tendency to become overweight and obese, even develop diabetes or even hypertension. Okay, so this is a very important area, and I wish more people will get to understand and to know this, and not just know here, but to do. The important thing is actually to do what is needful so that you can live the life that God wants you to live. Thank you for the emoji. Thank you. Thank you for the love. Thank you. Thank you. So I like to say again and again that life is meant to be enjoyed, not to be endured. And you have a responsibility, you have a choice to enjoy life. Okay. And you must take that responsibility seriously. But the fact is that the people you relate with have something to do with how well you enjoy life also. So that's why we need to be talking about relationships and finding ways. Where there's true love, you talk about matters and look for ways, ways to handle and move forward. Okay. But where there is no commitment, that's where the challenge comes in and becomes worrisome for individuals and relationships. So if you can get back to communicating, get back to selflessness, you will definitely be living that healthy social life. And in fact, your physical health will be well taken care of by God's grace, right? So thank you for joining in. Okay. I know when it hits the first hour, something happens and more people tend to join in. So there's a way the system is programmed. So I expect that more people will be joining in as we move on this interesting topic. Kata, are you still there? Neela? JP? Thank you for the likes and thank you for subscribing to the channel. So you can take some time to watch that video on self-care, selflessness, and selfishness. How to strike a balance. How do you strike a balance? Welcome to this live. Thank you for joining in. Good to have you here. Remember to double tap on your screen to like the live, or depending on the device you are using, you can click on the like button. All right, so another factor that we need to look at is the stress factor. Stress factor. Practically speaking, there are already many reasons not, in quotes, not to be happy, not to do things that you should normally do. But when we learn to handle stress, cope, and get above it, then we can handle our relationships better. So, a lot of people get pressured, demands here and there, and they are not able to handle those pressures. And so they allow that to affect how they relate with other people, and that brings a lot of tension. So sometimes I see patients who come into who also talk about how they were somewhere and they didn't have the attention of the doctor. Doctor wasn't smiling, and they began to wonder that were they going to have a way solution to why they came. Okay, and there are institutions where patients have interacted with doctor, and I hear that a number of times that, oh, okay, even if you don't give me any medication, any prescription, I'll be fine. I'm already fine going out, because they have engaged in such a way that they have received some support, emotional, psychological, and sometimes even spiritual support to help them to navigate. And so, leaving the doctor's consulting room, the individual, I don't know if you have ever felt that before, that you feel lighter. The burden is lighter. Even if you were having a headache, the headache disappears even before taking any analgesic. All right. So sometimes we need to understand that whether it's even marital or other relationships, if it's other, even if it's any other relationship with your boss, with your co-workers. And I had a, a speaking engagement some days ago, where I spoke with some employers and employees of a particular organization, and how I emphasized the need to maintain and have that balance, understanding of need for self-care, balancing with selflessness, and how to avoid being selfish to become a more useful person in their community, and productive individuals in the company. UK Delish, hello. UK Delish, welcome, welcome. Saying greetings, Dr. Soyemi. Thank you for joining in. Welcome, UK Delish. How are you doing? Good to have you here. It's good to have you here. I believe my audio is still audioing, like they say. Audio, is it? Am I audible? I hope you can hear me clearly. I said some time ago that I have different mics, different options, and I got one recently, and I will be checking it out on like a podcast mic, and I want to see whether it will do better than the other ones I have. UK Delish is saying hi to everyone. Welcome, UK Delish. UK Delish. Okay. You're asking, hope I'm doing great. Yes, by God's grace, I'm doing great. Taking charge, talking about health, relationship matters. So before you joined in, we were talking about the need to ensure we are communicating, and that's one of the things that we are doing at this time. People tend to keep things, bottle things, and then it's either they explode on the inside or they explode on the outside. Okay. So, but when you're able to communicate, when you're able to express yourself. And sometimes we need support from families, from friends. Um, I'm talking about appropriate relationships where you can share your heart, whether you're even talking about professional support, counselors, religious support, and different ways by which you can get that support. So we need to be communicating. We need to. So a number of people are suffering from anxiety and depression. Talking about all over the world, in different places, uh, people are not just anxious because of finances, even though, of course, finances can affect your relationship. Um, People talk about childbearing, may also affect, even as simple as I it's not simple, it's simple hygiene, how hygienic you are, how tidy you are, you neat, or you just you're just there. Okay. So these are things, factors that can affect people's relationships, and then influence their health. Okay, UK Delhi says it's okay. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. UK Delish, where are you watching from? Where are you joining from? By the way, everyone joining in, welcome. Remember to click on the like button. And UK Delish is a content creator. You can check out our channel. After this live, so I made you a standard moderator. So how is the YouTube street? How is it treating you? Sometimes I show up on your live. I watch some of your videos. Yeah, well done. So I was talking about the stress factor. So when people don't find time to rest, we must be taking breaks. For emphasis, we need to rest at least 6 to 8 hours. Some people say 9 hours. Okay, but really in this environment, okay, if you are a professional, even if you are a student, you know that you cannot be doing 9 hours of sleep over the night. All right, you have so much to do, but minimum should actually be about 6 hours of night sleep, where you give room for your cells to repair, give room for your body to make up for the loss over during the day. Okay, UK Daily says it's not easy on the street, so just copying Dr. Soyemi. Okay. Ah, what do you mean by just copying? Okay, what's your experience like, UK Delish? Why did you say it's not easy? Okay, I may understand what you are trying to say. Okay. Really, many things require challenges. I mean, are filled with challenges, and on the road, you just have to find a way to navigate. All right. So, why did you say it's not easy? What are your observations? What's your experience on the YouTube streets? Okay. So that's what we are talking about. We must learn to cope. So it's stressful, talking about being a creator, a YouTuber. You have so much when it comes to doing research, studying, preparing your notes, uh, generating, thinking about the next topic, drawing out your plan, even to gather your equipment, sitting to shoot a video or doing a live. Okay, but it's really interesting when the passion is there. Sometimes we talk about motivation, wanting to see people get the value or information that you have, and helping the world to be a better place. That's highly motivating. Okay, but YouTube has made provision for um, rewards to reward people for what they are doing on the platform. So just like many things that we engage in, there are challenges, but we must find ways to navigate. So I'm glad people have been thanking, sending messages about my monetization, and celebrating with me, which is very good. I appreciate that. All right. So, and it's exciting to know that YouTube recognizes and they keep encouraging creators like us, like UK Delish. So, where are you on the journey? You monetized. You Have you reached the 4,000 watch hours? We must keep thanking God, and that's one thing that we must learn to do. It's a healthy way to live, appreciating God, being grateful, having that attitude of gratitude. Very important. It does something to our mental health. So a lot of people are missing. They have the pleasure aspects of their relationships missing because they are engaged in other activities that are stressful, trying to do a career, trying to do a business, trying to do some other things that are outside, of course, connected and related to relationships, but outside the marital relationship, for example. So, doing this brings some form of stress. And when individuals, whether it's a husband or wife, they are not able to cope and undo those stresses, can cause some friction and lead to mental health issues and even physical health issues in the individual's life. So, UK Delish, we must keep thanking God. We must keep appreciating God. God is faithful. Very soon I'll be dropping a video on my AdSense experience. Very interesting. Okay, so I saw God's faithfulness, and I still see his faithfulness. And I'm grateful. Let me know where you are joining from this live. Okay. We have some few more minutes to do this. We can catch up again some other time. All right, so we must learn to get that balance. Oh, UK there says my Wi-Fi is poor this morning, Dr. Soyemi. Oh, so sorry. Sorry about that. No wonder I am getting some delay in your responses in your chat. Oh, okay. You said you were not here. You have missed. Okay, I was saying that what are the things that you have observed or that you have experienced or experiencing on the street? Did you hear that, UK Delish? On the street, and what are your coping strategies? How are you coping? And I like the fact that you said we thank God regardless. We must keep thanking God, appreciating him. Hmm. Yes, UK Delish. If you don't put efforts, everything is just stagnant. Yes, that's the way God has created things and made things. Must keep moving. God has not created us to just be there, to just be in one place. We have to be doing things and doing the right things and doing them well. So if you don't put efforts on this street, I'm talking about YouTube. I mean, this for all YouTubers, content creators, intending YouTubers. You have to put effort. It's a lot of work, and you have to do the work for the results to show. Of course, with God's blessings. But if you don't do the work, there's nothing for God to bless. So that's just it. We need to be showing up. And that's what YouTube wants from us on this street. Yes. Yes. You have to be showing up and being you. Thank you for that. You have to keep showing up. That's the way to know that you are still. That's why the system, they talk about wiping off accounts, deleting accounts, dormant accounts, even subscribers. Those are some of the reasons. That's one of the reasons that if the channel is being found not to be active, then they see no reason why it should remain on the platform. Yeah, that's what we want. So we must keep showing up and showing up well for our community. We must keep showing up. Hey, Sadi. Welcome, Sadi. Thank you, Sadi. Thank you for the like. Sadi says, hi, Doc. Hi, Sadi. Thank you for joining this live. It's a great weekend on this side. Sadi, where are you currently? Jamaica, right? Sadi, you're in Jamaica, and I remember you are from Cams. You're from Cams, yes, Jamaica. Welcome, Sadi. Sadi, we've been talking about health matters and how our relationships affect our health. And we've been looking at it in different ways, looking at it different angles, and especially why are couples losing fun? And what should we be doing differently? What should we be doing? I've emphasized the need to take personal responsibility for your own health as an individual. You need to do that. You need to do that. People can support you, people can assist, people can show care. But if you don't have that will to yourself, for yourself to live healthy, whether we talk about mentally, emotionally, socially, physically, these are very important areas of our health. Yes, Sadi. Sadi says true. Yes. And Sadi, we said communication is a key aspect and it's fundamental. Really, there cannot be a real relationship without that engagement in terms of communication. Communication. UK Delish. Can see the excitement. Share the exciting information with us, UK Delish. So Sadi, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this? Carter, are you still there? Okay, Sadi is saying I to UK Delish. I UK Delish. Okay, so I mentioned the fact that apart from communication challenges, stress, any factor that disturbs you from being your normal or doing your normal routine, doing your routine, then that factor is a stress factor. Any factor that disturbs your health is a stress factor. So, and then people have these factors in different ways, in different areas. So, how do you cope? If you are not able to cope and you actually persist and the stress factor persists, then there's a tendency to get into burnout. Burnout. And that's another experience that will require serious support. So people are not talking about these things. That's why. Okay, Sadi says, Doc, just getting in. I have enough to say, but sleepy. Oh, okay. Leave you running till you get off. Oh, okay. Thank you, Sadi. Thank you. Welcome back, Sadi. Okay. Welcome back, Sadi. Thank you for your support. Say you keep the live running till we end the live. Thank you so much. Sadi says when stress, you say you just want to be alone. So that's your way of coping with stress. So you need that time, that me time. Just time for yourself and with yourself. Very important. Very important. That's what we're talking about, self-care. You must just learn to show that. And it happens to a lot of women. Women tend to give, give, and give, giving to families, giving to husbands, children, colleagues, just giving. But we must learn to receive, must learn to self-care, must learn to enjoy time with yourself. Very important. Sadi says, exactly, exactly. Yes, exactly. UK Delhi says, Sadi blessings. Sadi blessings. Greetings from UK Delhi. So we need to keep talking about these things. Okay, blessings from Sadi, blessings UK. Where are you from? Okay, so let's keep the chat going. Okay, I can see your question. UK Delhi says, Dr. Soyemi, how is all going with you on YouTube, especially the revenue? Okay, so I said in the video, I'll be uploading the video soon on my AdSense pin, Google AdSense, how I was able to get it. Of course, I joined the YouTube partner program last year, and then definitely I have opportunities for receiving super chats, super stickers, and for memberships ongoing. But my watch hour is above 3,000, moving close to 4,000 watch hours now. So that will be for full monetization. So I have my pin, I have other information that I need to fill in for full monetization. So I'm yet to do that. So sometimes I'm wondering, why am I not doing this? I mean, that I'm interested in the rewards. I'm sure YouTube knows that. I love dollars too. Okay, but presently I see that I've not reached the threshold for the payment. Okay, so I'm yet to get the first payment, but I have my records information to get into full monetization. Okay, so I want you to know that I am interested, and I'm going to keep doing the work on this platform, keep giving, and trying to do a balance between my clinical work and my online space. Okay, so we will be talking more about this. So that's the situation on the revenue. So of course, people are watching my videos. I'm sure that by the time that's the question YouTube is asking. Do you want to continue with monetization? You need to input your AdSense pin, and then your tax information. So that's the stage I am, and I believe that's going to launch a lot of things, beginning of a lot of is it money now? Okay, so Sadi says, okay, I'm a Nigerian. Okay, that's from UK, Delish. Okay, UK Delish says, I hear different word talks. Okay, what are those things that you hear? UK Delish. So you hear different word talks. And UK Delish says, I'm a Nigerian. Sadi. Sadi says, okay, UK, I'm from Jamaica. And Sadi says, I'm monetized, I have super chat and membership. Great, Sadi, great. So, oh, lovely. Jamaica people have, okay, say you have few of them. UK Delish says, and always join your live stream. Yes, they are usually around, supportive. We have a number of them, content creators. And then, okay, UK says, oh, okay, you're monetized, congrats. Sadi says, okay, UK, connect to me and I will be back. We can be friends. Wow, that's nice. So you can connect. That's great. So Sadi says, thank you. UK says, I'm not yet monetized. Oh, okay. But okay, you come up live, but do you actually upload videos, long form videos? UK Derish, you should be uploading more long form videos. That's what, apart from the live that gives watch hours, you need to be uploading content, and you should be finding out what your audience really like, and I'll be doing more of that. And of course, consistency is important. You need to keep showing up, like you said. Okay, Sadi says yes, we can get, but we cannot give, which I find it very unfair. Oh, okay. I didn't get that, Sadi. I need to get that clearly. What do you mean by yes, we can get, but we cannot give, which you find very unfair? Okay, UK Delish, hopefully soon you'll be getting monetized. So what number of subscribers do you have? What's the number of subscribers? Okay, so and of course, there are different ways. You need a community. I started monetization after 3 years of being on YouTube, but you need to actually be engaging with others like you are doing right now. Community is important. You need to relate with other people, other content creators, show up. And apart from people consuming your content. All right. So Sally says, well, UK Connect, I'll watch your videos. Okay, that's good. Okay, you mean super chats? Yes. Okay, you're not able to give super chats. You can get super chat, but you cannot give. Oh, okay. Cannot give. Where? You cannot give super chats. Where? Sadly, where? How? Okay, yes, I needed to get that clear. Okay, meaning Jamaicans cannot give super chats. What do you think is responsible for that? All right, so don't come here. Okay, so I need to end the live soon. All right, this live streaming will be we'll be catching up again soon. So, but Sadi says Jamaicans cannot give super chats. Why? Why? UK Delhi says, okay, I will. Can't give super chats. Why? Okay, that's the question UK Delhi is also asking. Okay, before we close this live, Sadi, can you help us to understand why? Is there any particular reason why Jamaicans are not allowed to give super chat? Okay, Sadi says, UK, don't worry about it. Support is the thing. Okay. So I really appreciate you for joining this live, and I want to say you've been so wonderful with your chats, engagements, and we will catch up again soon. Thank you so much, everyone who joined in. Okay, Sadi says, I don't know. I'll ask you to. Okay, we need to ask. We need to find out and check what exactly is the reason. Of course, it will be available in the community, maybe guidelines and all. Okay, Sadi says, thank you, Doc. Blessings and love. Bye, UK. Yes, thank you. Bye for now.